in 1 month between the Ronnie and the Phil, I gained 10 pounds and improved my conditioning without taking steroids. Let's talk about how I pulled that off. All right, so after the Ronnie, basically what I did is I started training really hard and really heavy. My goal here was to really preserve my muscle mass, maybe even build some more while being in a deficit. So to help me do that, I bumped my creatine up to about 20 grams a day. This is our backup energy source, guys. So basically, when you don't have a lot of ATP from glucose, your body resorts to creatine for your hard exercise, right? So I was basically using that to fuel my lifts. I was doing a lot of drop sets, a lot of heavy lifting. Yeah, I was still training heavy. I didn't do any of this, high rep stuff. On top of that, to help me improve my contractions, I was doing a lot of sodium, guys. I'm talking 4 to 8 grams on top of my seasoning, right? So basically, pre-workout, I was doing a teaspoon of, pink Himalayan salt, and no flavored pre's, no artificial sweeteners, anything like that, guys. So this is kind of what I was working with, and then about 400 milligrams of caffeine pre-workout, and another 200, intra workout, just to keep me going. So I did that for about 2 weeks, and really started retaining water pretty bad. But I went up to about 217 pounds, and I'd say about you know 15, 16 days out from the fill, I dropped all of that stuff. Uh, I dropped weight really quickly. I dropped about 13 pounds or so down to like 203, 205 in like 5 days, right? So then I started backing my sodium off, because I'd already loaded it, so much, right? I increased my water quite a bit. This was 10 days out from the fill. Um, did that. I'm still training super heavy. Strength is really good, right? And for the most part, I felt awesome. Even, without the sodium, I felt super good just because I had loaded the creatine and so much sodium after the Ronnie, right? Carbs were about 150 a day. Cardio, all I did was walk, right? So I walked an hour in the morning, fasted, and I walked an hour after I lifted. Um, and then during peak week, I was doing refeeds for the Ronnie like every Saturday. But after I did that show, it was like my body got really sensitive, right? So I dropped those, and what I did basically was I slowly staggered my carbs up into peak week, right? So like Thursday, the week before peak week, I was at 150. Friday, I added another 50 carbs. I kept that through Sunday, and then another 50, right? Until I got to Wednesday, and I was at about 500 carbs. And when I really got to this high carb point, I started pulling back on my water, right? Because my goal here was, suck all of the water into my muscles, right? You don't want any really spilling over. Friday, I cut water down to like half a gallon, and like every 2 hours, I was doing about 400, 500 grams of mashed sweet potato with 3 tablespoons of brown sugar and about half a teaspoon, maybe not quite that much, of pink Himalayan salt. This really dried me out, guys. So by weigh-ins, I was looking pretty crispy. After weigh-in, I had a 1 pound double cheeseburger, and I had 2 servings of fries at Yard House over there in Las Colinas. If you haven't been there, definitely need to check it out because their burgers are fire, right? They're not quite as good as Fred's, but they are super awesome, right? And after that, I had 2 shots of tequila. Again, this dried me out. We all know alcohol dries you out quite a bit, right? Um, and after that, I had a feeling that I needed to eat, right? That I needed to keep eating. When I got home that night, I was just like, man, I just feel like if I don't eat tonight and I eat tomorrow, I'm not gonna have enough fluid in my system to really break down this food. So I junk loaded, right? I ate like 8 Pop-Tarts at night, and like 2 Rice Krispie treats. Woke up in the morning and I was just like really full, really dry, and I didn't want to lose it, so I kept eating. Before I went on stage, right, I had another 4 Pop Tarts. I like 2 Rice Krispie treats, pumped up. This is at like 9 a.m. I think went on stage at like 10:30 a.m. Go backstage, have like another 6 Rice Krispie treats, right? Um, keep pumping up. And so yeah, it was definitely the best I ever looked for a show. And it's all because I manipulated my nutrition, I manipulated my creatine, I manipulated my electrolytes, and I manipulated my water, right? I didn't take any hardeners or anything like that. I did some dandelion root the morning of, right? And that, that definitely helped me dry out some too. But yeah, so that is how I knocked out this picture and this picture, right? 10-pound weight gain in between and improved conditioning using only nutrition tactics. All right, follow me for more.